All right, 4-1, I think. So if I win this last one, then I do tie with Johns for championship contention. I don't know who has to play Naismith. Uh, I sure hope Johns is quaking in his boots. Is he even watching anymore? No, he's already left. Well, wherever he is, he ought to be quaking in his boots. If he doesn't have boots on, I'd recommend putting them on. What do we have here? This looks weird. The big limit is there's no plus buy. So there's, like, I mean, Gardens is out of the question. So, like, there's tons of, like, amazing engine stuff here that I'm pretty sure is all going to get ignored. Scrying Pool is phenomenal draw. Corey's great for getting action cards. Lost City's excellent. Mastermind's excellent. I'm not sure you actually touch any of that because, well, you can't really build a single buy. The only thing of interest here, and the only way to gain stuff, is Way of the Worm. That marginally rewards having actions in your deck, because if you have extra actions, you can gain some estates for 1 point each, but that's not super strong. But otherwise, I mean, maybe this is just like straight up gear money. Like, I'm seriously thinking that maybe the optimum strategy is just like 3 gears, then click treasures, and then that's it. You could potentially put in some ports, maybe, to give you the ability to take estates with Way of the Worm. I'm not sure if that's even better than just gears into provinces, though. I'm really unsure. Gear money is not bad. Okay, so yeah, he's taking ports. Maybe he's going to go for the estates then. I mean, in a single buy, simple money kingdom, these are a non-negligible amount of points. I'm not sure how much to prioritize those. Like, for gear money, I think you just do like double gear as an opening. I'm considering something like raise ports, the same idea that he has of like, that I presume he has of taking some of the estates along the way and then moving into gear money. But I'm really unsure if any of the fanciness involving Way of the Worm or thinning or villages is actually really contributing to the quality of the deck at all. I think I'm just going to stick with the simple gear thing. Does that want to raise? I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to go double gear in the open. We'll go from there. Just, if I recall correctly, there's not a whole lot that improves upon simple, basic gear money very appreciably. Like, mixing in random stuff to it doesn't usually make it too much better. So I'm going to not get fancy, and I'm going to do that instead. 5 is an awkward number. 5 is a really awkward number. 5 doesn't help me in the slightest. Maybe I do take some ports here, because I don't know what I'm buying on 5. Yeah, you never want to see 5 playing big money. I mean, sometimes you do. Maybe you're dodgy dancing, but you usually don't want to see 5. I think I'll add a pair of ports. We'll contest the estates, I guess. Maybe. I'm not even sure. This seems like it's most likely going to be a second gold. And then after 2 golds, who knows? We might already even be in like provincing phase. Wait a second. Do these bottom 4 cards have 2 gears and a port? That's really bad. Or, not other way around. 2 ports and a gear. That sucks. Yeah, those bottom two cards I'm pretty sure are port and gear. Okay, he took Mastermind too. Interesting. So yeah, he's going aggressively for these estates, and I don't think they're gonna pay off enough to justify it, but who knows? I can't say I've ever played Way of the Worm money before to comment on it. Wait a second. I've confused myself. I've thoroughly confused myself. I thought I had 3 gears. Did I just never buy a 3rd gear? What did I do? Oh, I bought a silver turn. Why did I buy silver turn 3? That 1000% should have been a 3rd gear. I don't know what I was doing. But for some reason I bought silver. Okay, well, never mind. I was confused. I didn't know the state of my deck. Yeah, why don't I have a 3rd gear? I should fix that. What's down there? 4 coppers, an estate, a gold, and do I have a second silver? No, I can't because only 1 silver gone from the pile. 4 coppers, estate, gold. Oh, I have 2 golds down there. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna province here. Setting aside doesn't really make a difference because I'm not going to trigger a shuffle. Yeah, I messed this up. Gear should absolutely have 3 gears in it. I thought I had 3 gears, and I guess I was assuming I'd already bought the 3rd gear for a number of turns there and just never got around to getting the 3rd one. But this deck should absolutely have 3 gears in it, and it doesn't. The ports have also not been like exceptionally helpful. They got me Anestate. Maybe the port turn should have been the turn I bought the 3rd gear. Obviously, at that point, I didn't even contemplate buying gear because I thought by that point I already had 3 gears in my deck. But if I had understood the scenario that I was in properly, I would have, I think, bought a gear there. Well, if I lose, that's on me. I actually still think I'm in a pretty good position. I mean, I could be wrong here, but so the estate split went 7-1, which means he has 6 more victory points than I do, sitting in his exile mat. We're tied in points though, because I'm up 1 province. So the upside for him is, oh, gardens, that's tricky. Is that his plan, was to get the estates to power up his gardens? I don't think that should be, I mean, it's still like duchies basically. There's like cheaper duchies. I don't think it's gonna get past 30 cards. I want to do silver estate. Anyways, as I was saying, I was thinking, you know, I've got a province, he's got 6 more exiled estates. The drawback for me is, well, I've got 1 more stop card in my deck, the province, whereas his are all exiled. That being said, he spent a lot of buys on like ports and stuff. Like he bought 4 pairs of ports, I bought 1. He bought a mastermind and all that to get all this done. And those are otherwise pretty low value cards, I would say. And so now that we're in the greening phase, his deck might be a lot worse for the wear because he spent so many of his buys on the like engine-y things to get the estate pile done. We'll see if this gardens idea pans out, but I think it shouldn't. So presuming he, oh, maybe this was clever after all. I wrote off gardens because of the single gain thing, but technically speaking, for gardens purposes, not only did the estates power him up a bit, but all these ports are like 2 gains instead of 1. So it actually should be pretty oh, that was a bad draw. It should be pretty plausible, I think, for him to get to 30 cards, where the gardens will be duchies. I don't know if he can get to 40 in time. That seems harder to do. So basically he gets 1 card per turn, plus the 7 estates. So he has like 17 plus the turn count, plus 4. So he's probably already at 30. He's over 30 cards. He might get to 40. Now, do I take duchy already? Probably, right? Yeah, I'm coming around to this gardens idea. I like the idea of the estate port gardens thing. I hadn't really considered that angle. But if the game lasts long enough for him to get to 40 cards, then all of a sudden I think he looks like he's in a really nice position. We'll see if that happens. I'm still really sad about not getting a 3rd gear at any point. That's not a great hand. If I were him, I think I would buy Province here. I don't have anything set aside, so my odds of hitting Province aren't amazing. And if he's masterminding a gear, there's a decent chance he can hit Province a 2nd time on the next turn. And so I think a reasonable gamble for him is to say, you're probably not going to hit Province, and I probably am going to hit Province with 4 gear plays to set aside like a ton of cards. Now who knows, maybe I draw like a copper and a gold here and then I hit Province. My deck's not like bad, it could hit Province. But I think it would be a reasonable gamble if you bought Province here. I guess we should count out how many cards he has, because if he's close to the 40 card mark that'll cause Gardens to power up, that might be enough incentive for him to go for Gardens. Because in the like Gardens dancing versus Duchy dancing phase, that probably favors him over time. Okay, so he is just going for Gardens after all. Do I draw on here? Surely, right? I was considering setting aside gear, but I'm not sure that there's any value to that. Now in my deck, I've got 15 cards in my deck. 5 more in my hand is 20. 3 in play is 23. 2 set aside is 25. Exile 1 is 26. Yeah, I'm not even at 30 cards, so I don't think it makes enough sense for me to touch Gardens. Now what's he at? I counted 26 for me, right? 23, 6. Yes, I have 26. He's had 1 more turn than me. So he would have 27. Plus he's got 6 more states than I do, so 33. And he's got 3 more ports to account for. So 36. So it's going to take him 3 more turns, most likely, or 3 to 4 more turns to bump up his Gardens. It could be 3 if he bought ports, basically. But I think I want to end the game before then, because if he gets to that Gardens thing, then I'm in a world of trouble. So I'm considering like setting aside gold to hit Province twice. I got a bunch of golds coming up. I think my path to victory might just be provincing twice before he provinces, but man, I feel like he's gonna province next turn. He's got 6 cards set aside. He doesn't have a lot of gold, but he has gold in that deck. And so I feel like he's gonna province, and that's just gonna kill my chances of winning. What do I do? I can't set aside gold and buy a state because the states are out. I can set aside just copper. My gardens. Yeah. I probably should have just bought duchy, I suppose. Hands like this are the type where, like, here's why 3 gears matters. If that silver were a gear, then getting to draw and then set aside any excess money for the following turn is just like really good for reliably hitting exactly 8 over and over. 12 is just way too much money, and that's because that silver is not a gear. Okay, well, we'll see who hits province first. The good news is his deck is mostly ports. The bad news is I just saw like most of my golds. Oh god, I have to figure out what these bottom 5 cards are. If it's $8 in money, then I don't want to trigger a shuffle. Oh no. Oh yeah. So I shuffled here. I saw 1 copper, 1 gold, 1 province, 1 gear, 1 port. So the ports are all accounted for now. I drew 2 of my states. The estates are all accounted for too. I've seen all my ports, seen all my estates, seen both my gears. I saw 1 copper last turn. Then I saw 1 copper the other turn. So 4 coppers accounted for. So I think there's 3 coppers down there. The silver's already accounted for. I have 5 golds. Man, what has become of me? Yeah, I have 5 golds. How many of my golds have I seen? I think 4 of them though, right? Yeah, so 1 gold turn 15 and my scrolly thing not working. And 3 turn 16. So that bottom card, I think it's 3 coppers, a gold, and then a victory card of some sort. So I should probably draw, because hitting, what do you call it? Hitting 5 wouldn't help me. So now I've drawn my gold. If I buy Mandarin, I re-top deck the gold. But then I'm top decking it with some coppers, and then that doesn't help me enough. If I had silver gold, I could buy Mandarin and then be much more likely to hit 8. Does buying a victory card help me? I think not. I think all that really matters is who hits 8 now. So I should probably just buy... Actually, that's not true, is it? If I buy Duchy, then he can't win even if he hits 8. So that's some reason to buy Duchy, isn't it? I'll buy Duchy. It protects me from him hitting 8. The bad news is I just shuffled a Duchy into my deck instead of like potentially a silver or a gear or something. And whatever I buy this turn just absolutely will not matter. There's no way I'm getting through 4 more turns of this game back around to whatever this buy is, potentially 5 to 8 turns later. Can't buy an estate because they're empty. Actually, I have a gardens in my deck, so I should buy something just to power up the gardens. I got currently 23, 28 cards, 29 cards, yeah. So this will bump up my singular gardens by 1 point. That's something. I just need to draw those golds, and then I'll win. Or I won't, because he'll beat me to it. The good news is his deck doesn't do well at hitting 8. I mean, he still could, but he's only got 1 gold and no silvers in his deck. So if he couldn't do it on the like mastermind gear turn, I think it's not going to happen. I hope. The threat for him, I think, is he's about to get the big gardens bump. Maybe this turn even. And then that'll score him like 6 more points. And if he gets like all 3 gardens before I get province, well, that might be enough for him to win. Like he just like gardens, 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 port. Yeah, he got gardens. I'll buy the gear here just for the symbolic value. Oh, okay, here we go. Please don't hit 8. Pretty please don't hit 8. Please, crabcat. Begging you. Your deck's like full of junk now. It's got lots of ports and gardens. You're not gonna hit 8, right? Don't do it. Don't you do it. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Wow, after that first loss, I did not think I was going to pull off the 5-1. That was quite a streak there. That is 5 games, right? I sure hope I didn't miscount that. I'm going to wait for him to type. Does he say GG's? I think that's 6 total games, right? Let me check the match score. Yeah, 5-1, okay. GG's. All right, so now I may or may not be in the championship. I'm now tied with Johns, who I also tied with in my match just like a few hours ago. So I don't know how that tie is broken. Maybe a coin flip. I really don't know. In any case, I got a 50-50 shot. Maybe they'll throw out Naismith and me and Johns can play for the championship match. That seems like a reasonable way to resolve the situation. In any case, that's the match.